Hello, sisters, and welcome to our EA Financial Fridays. We have a special discussion for you today, and I have our sister, Crystal Payne, and she is our National Marketing Coordinator. Everyone knows her, and we appreciate and love her. And so welcome, Crystal, to EA Financial Friday.
Thank you, Latasha. I'm happy to be here. Hi, sisters.
Yes, so our discussion today, Crystal and I have been talking about how we want our sisters to really have just share some knowledge that, we want to share some knowledge about managing the workplace from a financial standpoint. And so we want to just talk about some things that can help you even, whether you are new on your job or you've been on your job for several years, or maybe even, with the retirement discussion, with the benefits discussion, we're going to talk about, you might be near retirement, and it may help you as well. So no matter what stage of your employment you're at, we think that this discussion can help you. And you can also share it with your friends and family as well. So let's start off. We're going to start talking about retirement plans. And so with retirement plans, if you work for a corporation, you would be involved in the 401k plan. And it's a really wonderful plan because you get to save for retirement. And then also it has some tax advantages because that money is taken out of your paycheck, however much you want to contribute to your 401k. It's taken out of your paycheck and then it's put into your retirement plan and on a pre-tax basis. So that just simply means that your net pay is going to be lower because those funds came out pre-tax. And so then you will pay less, potentially pay less in federal taxes. So that's a real huge benefit for the 401k. And then also some companies match, they will match however much you put in, they will match that same amount. So that's something that's really, really good. Crystal, I don't know if your company matches or if you've had any experience with that, but I know that it's a really great feature to have because you grow your money so much faster.
Yeah, so my company actually does do the matching as well. And I think that we're on like a percentage scale. So after you've been in the company for so many years, I believe it was like 5 years or so, I believe that the percentages begin to increase on what they match for you. And then you're at a fixed rate. But so with that, I mean, that's always viable and helpful. Because the longer you stay with the company, the more viable your 401k, becomes. So yeah, we definitely do that. I think a lot of companies or corporations do that as well. So it's definitely something to consider and talk to your HR department about in terms of the matching program to get clarity on what that is or how to navigate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's essentially free money, right? That you're extra money that you're getting to put away. And, one of the key things is the earlier you start, the better, because you've got so many more years for that money to grow, for your retirement. So, and even if you didn't, you've been on your job for a while and maybe you haven't taken advantage of that, even, still get involved with it, however much time you have left on your job, just, take advantage of this benefit. Another thing is if you're going to be, near retiring, the best thing you can do is to take that 401k with you so that you can then control it and know where that money is going. So as opposed to just leaving it at your prior company. So, and that kind of leads to the next point about control. You're able to control where that money is going and you're able to put in there what type of investments you would like that money to go in. So, Crystal, did you have anything on that control piece and being able to put funds where you want them?
So my company, usually they built the portfolio for us of assets, but I do have access to, because we're through Fidelity, which I think a lot of companies probably utilize them for their 401k plans, but it does show you the portfolio of assets. And so you can actually go in there and, navigate the what the portfolio looks like. And then you do have that control factor where you can allocate, removing certain mutual funds or bonds or whatever the case may be, to seem more viable. Because I know right now the market is down. So it might
Yes.
just to go in there and kind of see what the structure is right now. But yeah, they definitely give us access to the platform so that we can see what we're invested in. So that's always a plus.
Yes, yes, definitely. And then you can contribute as much or as little as you want, and that's a nice thing as well. So, obviously, the more you are able to contribute, the better long term, your portfolio will grow. So, yeah. So, at that point, I think we've pretty much covered a lot of the 401k. Did you have any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would also say that something that's advantageous too, and just with me being a young professional and getting my own home, I would say what would be advantageous would also be that, you put that money into that 401k, and then also you have the opportunity. I know for my company, they allow you to take a loan from your 401k. So in the event that you need closing costs or closing money, you can actually take a loan from your 401k, and then you can pay it back and pay yourself interest. So essentially, if you're doing that, you're paying yourself back. So I feel like that's more advantageous instead of taking out a personal loan or anything like that. That way, you're paying a separate entity back for, money that you took out. So I think that it would be better for you to utilize the 401k in that sense, and that you won't just be withdrawing money from your 401k. You will actually be, giving yourself back those funds that you took away. So I think that that's something else that people could take into consideration when they're deciding to, move into their first home or whatever big financial purchases that they may have. You can always borrow from yourself as a opportunity.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah. And it's probably so much cheaper too, interest wise versus getting a traditional loan potentially. It might be
Yeah,
something to consider.
yeah. I'm sorry. I think my interest rate was about 5%.
Okay, okay.
And lower than that. I think it was about 5%. So, and then of course, the way that it's set up, you can it'll be pre-tax from your salary. So they'll take it out, the payments, within each paycheck. So that's also advantageous too. So just
Yes.
something to think about if you're thinking about, purchasing or doing something large. Now, if you're thinking about buying a car or something, I probably wouldn't do that. But like big, like a house or something that you're trying to do, I think that would be helpful for you. So just something.
Yeah, awesome. That's an awesome tip. Okay, well, the next thing that we wanted to talk about is flexible plans. And so a number of companies do offer flexible plans. And so there are a few that we wanted to talk about, and we'll start off with the healthcare flexible plan. And that's where you basically, again, another tax advantage, you put money into a certain account, through your employer. And then as your healthcare costs, as you incur healthcare costs during the year, you take that money out of that account and you reimburse yourself. And that way it's all pre-tax dollars. And again, you're saving and reducing your taxable income. So that's a really, really cool feature and benefit if your company has that to offer.
Right. So on my end, I'm actually familiar with the health savings account, and I utilize it so my company doesn't. So when we do our in the beginning of the year, when we select our benefits, they actually give us the option to calculate the contribution that we want to provide to our health savings plan. So another good thing with the one that we have, because we do ours through Health Equity, which is a platform I think most companies probably utilize, but Health Equity basically with the program, what they do is They have opportunity too within the health savings account where you can actually set aside once you reach $1,000, which is it's distinct to my company, I believe, but sisters can look into it at their corporation as well. But once you reach $1,000 in that health savings account from saved funds, you can actually invest it into like a small brokerage account that's complete with bonds or mutual funds or things like that. And so you're actually going to be growing your money at a faster rate essentially too. So that's a benefit of a health savings account too. So it's a lot of benefits to those to the health savings plans because I've been using it probably for about 2 or 3 years now. And it's very similar to the Flex plan. I believe that plan is kind of similar. I haven't used it in my own experience, but I think that when it comes to medical expenses and things like that, you can definitely utilize that because I've utilized my health savings plans for dental, for the eye doctor, for any pharmacy needs. It definitely comes into it definitely helps in that arena, especially when you're a young adult and then you have to pay high deductibles for, medical concerns. You usually, because I've been told that you should pick a high deductible program if you, with like Blue Cross Blue Shield, if you don't really, visit the doctor's office that often, which the high deductible is usually a lower cost in terms of your overall benefits. So I usually go with that program, but the health savings account helps me on the back end if I have any, pharmacy needs or anything like that. That really helps me to navigate, my medical expenses. So it's definitely something to look into and something to consider. Even with mine, they give you a Visa card to utilize at the pharmacies and things like that. So you're putting those pre-tax dollars in, you can opt off, like I mentioned before, you can create a investment account within there and save a portion of those funds. It's a lot of different things that you could utilize the health savings account for. And it'll definitely, help you investment wise and medical wise. So yeah. And then for the health savings plan, those dollars are not, they do roll over to the new year. So I think that that's a benefit for the health savings plan. And then so.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, and you had some information on also some well-being dollars at your company. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so the well-being dollars were basically so as I mentioned, the $250 that they give us at the beginning of the year. So the well-being dollars are basically, so there's an initiative. So there's different videos and programs and things that they have through our HR department. So you do those. So they'll give you $250 and then you can earn an additional $250. I'm sorry. So you do that, you earn the additional $250 by participating in the initiatives. So the good thing for sisters to look into is to talk to your HR department and see if they have something like that where they can match. Your company will, contribute to your health savings account. Because I feel like most companies would consider that, or have that in place. But a lot of times we're not privy to that information. So it's very important, I feel like, to talk to like your HR and see, or even when you're looking through your benefits, because of course you can see the different insurance plans and things like that that's available. So I'm pretty sure even with me, so as I'm going through my benefits and I'm looking through what I want to do for the year, health savings account comes up, flex account comes up, and then there's always a help center or something on there that could give you clarity. And you can also go online and just search health savings account and look into, what are the viable benefits for having that, because I think it's a really, really good program to have. But those well-being dollars for my company, I think is great because it kind of jumpstarts you at the beginning of the year. They give you, and in January, they give you that $250, and then they give you the opportunity to earn an additional $250 on your own just from participating in those programs. And that's $500 in your account already. So it's like, and then on that, if you put in a contribution, because when I pick my benefits, you can pick the amount that you want to come out of your paycheck every month, of course. So, and then you're putting that money on top of that. So it's essentially, and there's a maximum, which I will have to look into, but there's a maximum amount that you can put, that you can contribute to your account. I think it's a little over $3,000 for the health savings account. I think that may be the cap. So there is a cap as to how much you can contribute. So you also want to look into that as well, because it may vary by company. But yeah, so it's definitely important to look into those things, just to have those backup plans, because you never know, what could happen in the future.
Yes. But as Crystal mentioned, please check with your HR department. Some of the things we discussed may be company specific in terms of amounts and programs, but generally, the point is we want you to just encourage you to take a look and investigate these things, because they are very beneficial financially for you. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Crystal, for joining me today. And we are so excited that you were able to join us. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you next month. Bye. EE.
Hey.
Yeah, and I love those medical incentives, with the well-being plan you talked about, because you're getting an incentive to get healthy. So, which is huge, so you got kind of two benefits going on. You're getting extra money and you're getting healthy at the same time. So yeah, so that was an awesome tip. So I think we've come to the end of all of our tips for today. We'll come back next month and give you a few more.